In this video, I'm going to tell you what they don't tell you about recovery. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my resources below. If you want to speak with me, there is also a link in the description box. I assumed I knew what recovery was before I actually recovered. Then I realized I had a lot of misconceptions. I realized a lot of things weren't true. Recovery is like marketing. It never goes how you expect it to go. You can make predictions, but in the end, you don't know how it goes until you actually do it. The first thing is, it's not a one-day thing. I used to think that I could wake up one morning and be recovered. You can't just declare your recovery. You can't do it in one day. You can't make some commitment. You can't make a contract to yourself. You can't declare it. You can't manifest it. It's something that takes time. And when I say time, it could be several weeks. It could be a few months. For some people, it could be 18 months to 2 years. Now, that's a little extended. And I don't have data. I don't have averages here. It's really hard to collect that. Like I've said in previous videos, there's no definite beginning. There's no definite end. So you don't know how long it takes to recover. You can make it shorter, you can make it longer. It just depends on what kind of decisions you make. I can guarantee you nobody wakes up, has an epiphany, has a road to Damascus moment and says, I am recovered, I had this revelation, the clouds opened up, and now I understand everything I need to. You can facilitate that recovery with accountability, with motivation, with the right insight, with coaching, therapy, whatever. But even with the best therapists in the world, it's not going to be one day. The next thing is paroxysms. It is natural and it is okay to have a paroxysm or an outbreak during the recovery process. Having one episode, one paroxysm doesn't mean that you've lost everything. It doesn't mean that you start another recovery episode. It's really just part of the process. You could have several days, weeks of progress, and then you have a bad few days. You have a losing streak. Think about a baseball team. A baseball team might have 20 games where they win 15 of those games, and then they lose 3 in a row. Why is that? I don't know. Some things in life are unpredictable. Why do things happen in streaks? Why do things happen in bursts? I don't know. But just expect episodes and paroxysms here and there. The key is to make those paroxysms less damaging and to make them less frequent. Less severity and less frequency are 2 signs of a successful recovery. Recovery isn't perfection. It doesn't mean you wake up and then from then on you are perfect. That was another misconception that I had, that I could just declare the end of my ED and then declare the beginning of my recovery. And if I had one episode or one paroxysm, that meant I had lost everything and I had to restart again. It's this black and white all or nothing thinking that is the problem. The other thing I didn't realize was long-term effects. I created a lot of bad habits during my years with EDs, like weighing food and paying too much attention to nutrition facts and body checking, body scanning, eating low-calorie diet foods. I can make a whole list of bad behaviors that I developed. A lot of those behaviors stayed with me for a while. Some of them never quite disappeared. And that's okay. Just because you have all of these little habits that you don't like doesn't mean that you're not recovered. Recovery means no episodes. Okay, no binging, no purging, no chewing and spitting, no overeating, except on Thanksgiving. You can overeat on Thanksgiving, you're still recovered. I mean, everybody does it, right? That's the definition of recovery. But if you are eating a good diet and you don't have any episodes, but you're still weighing stuff, that doesn't mean that you're not recovered. That's a habit that you should probably break, but that does not define recovery. So you might have these long-term effects well into the future, months, maybe even years. So even if you recover, you might have some long-term effects. And you know what? That's okay. As long as those long-term effects and those habits don't interrupt or interfere with your life, like episodes in an ED, it's okay. The next thing is weight loss will happen spontaneously, but maybe not as fast as you think. I've made previous videos about losing weight during recovery. I think it's possible. I don't think you have to abandon your weight loss goals, especially if you're an athlete and you're in a weight-dependent sport like swimming, running, gymnastics. Pretty much any sport is weight dependent. So if you're in one of those sports and you need to meet a certain weight class, you can absolutely correct your behavior while still pursuing weight loss. But your recovery, your behavior, your habits, those take precedence over the number on the scale. If you focus on the behavior first, then the number will take care of itself. It might not be as fast as you want. and you have to accept that. If you want 2 or 3 pounds a week, that's probably not possible, and I don't advise you do that. A more realistic goal of like 1 pound a week, I think most people can pull that off without setting off those old behaviors. Weight loss and recovery are not mutually exclusive. It's just weight loss shouldn't be the #1 goal. Focus on the habits, focus on the quality of your diet, focus on quantity, and the weight will come off. Also, you might need to accept a higher weight. I've pointed this out in previous videos. If you have this ideal weight in your mind, ask yourself where you got that. Do you run faster at that weight? Do you perform faster at that weight? I mean, why do you need to get to that? Just be honest with your intentions and have a realistic goal. Another thing that I expected before recovery is I thought I was going to have this massive void in my life. I think this is a big reason why people don't recover sooner, is because they think there's going to be this huge void. What am I going to do without this? How am I going to cope? You've heard that before. How will I cope, Kevin? What am I going to do without this habit? What am I going to do without this cycle? What am I going to do without this enemy? What will my new goals be? What will my New Year's resolutions be from now on? Well, you find other things. You find other problems, which is another thing you need to be prepared for. You'll have other goals, other aspirations. Eventually, you'll come to a place where you forget that you ever had this problem in the first place. And you'll think to yourself, why did I think I needed that? Why did I think that I had to have this cycle? And this cycle provides something to you right now, but it won't in the future. You will move on, and you will focus on other things. And that's really what recovery is. It's moving on. Let's talk about extreme hunger for a minute. Some people report extreme hunger. I never felt that, but I can understand the physiology. When you're used to massive quantities and then you start eating reasonable quantities, there can be an adjustment period. Your body is so used to these large volumes of food that having a standard volume or a standard portion might seem unsatisfying. It might seem unfulfilling. Your baseline is here, now you're eating here. There could be an adjustment. Some people have reported extreme hunger. I never went through that period. I adjusted quite well, but I understand some people do. I would rather have extreme hunger than to binge eat at this point. Binge eating is such a damaging habit in every aspect. Having extreme hunger, it's like having pain in your back. It's like having some uncomfortable feeling. You can live with that much more easily than you can live with binge eating. The last thing I didn't expect is life is pretty much the same. I have other problems. I worry about other things. I have different assignments. Everything moves on. I hate to break it to you, but the world doesn't revolve around you. You have ascribed so much significance and power to this cycle, so much significance to this enemy that you have, so much significance to the food. You've convinced yourself that you absolutely need it, that if you don't have it, what will I do? How will I cope? I'm here to tell you that your life continues and you find other problems to solve and you find other things to do, and eventually you'll forget about it. That's how you know you've recovered. The big lie about any ED is you think that you needed it. You think you need this in your life, and if you don't have it, what are you going to do? It's this fear that I think blocks a lot of people from recovering. Sorry, there's no parade, there's no celebration, there's no recovery party at the end of it. There's no finish line. Eventually you move on, you forget about it, and your life continues. You might live with some of those long-term effects for a while, but so what? Everybody has some bad habits and some idiosyncrasy. Focus on the episodes, eliminate those episodes, and move on. What are some other things nobody tells you about recovery? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you found this video educational and entertaining. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my resources below. If you liked this video, I'm sure you'll like one of the other videos that you see on the screen. Click one of them, and I'll see you there.